Hey everyone, welcome, and today I have a tournament for you here in World of Tanks. This particular tournament was on June the 11th, and it was a 1v1 tournament in Tier 10 tanks. It took place on Mittengard. All the details are up there on the screen for you right now, and you can see the prizes up here in a second too, as to what we had to win potentially. This time around, it was places 1 to 7. They were all gold prizes, and they just kind of went down. First place was 500 gold. Usually for the 3v3s and 4v4s, first place is 750 gold, but usually for those it's just first, second, and third. They get gold, and after that you get like 75,000 credits, or maybe nothing, depending on how you actually place. But this session here was supposed to be 9 battles, but only 5 of them actually had the enemy player show up, so 4 of them were technical victories. If you yourself are interested in signing up for these tournaments, I would highly suggest that you do. On the World of Tanks homepage, there's a tournaments link towards the top that you can click on, and it'll show you all the tournaments that are being scheduled for the next week or two. And if you can compete in one of these tournaments every week for the next month, then there you go. There's a month's worth of premium time for you pretty easily. In the last 7 days, I've competed in 6 different tournaments, and for 5 of those, I've received gold prizes. So not too bad there, right? That's almost 3,000 gold in 7 days for free. Not bad, right? Anyways, that's enough rambling on. Let's get into the good stuff. Alright, so as we go through this, I'm going to explain to you why each person might have brought the tank they brought, why they were thinking that was a good idea, and also get into why mine is a good idea, but I'm not the only one that's going to be bringing a T110 E5, so I'll get to that eventually. So this first guy brought a T57 Heavy. Now, why would you bring a T57 Heavy? I mean, it doesn't have very good armor, it's not very great maneuverability-wise, but what it does have is an autoloader, and if you fire 6 of those shells into me and penetrate, you're going to kill me. And it does have a higher damage per minute than the E5 does, if I'm not mistaken, and that most other Tier 10 heavies would. But if you bounce 3 of them, then you're going to have to load a 3rd clip in order to kill me, because he only has 4 rounds per clip. So that's really going to cost you, and you can't afford to hesitate. You have to make sure that you run away during your reload too, but that's going to be tough as well, because the T57 Heavy is a little bit slower than the E5 here. So right now, what I just want to make sure he doesn't do is get my flank. If he can shoot me in the butt, unload a couple shells there before I can move away if I'm caught out in the open or whatever, then it's going to be really tough to do. So I have to make sure that I don't sit here the whole game and make sure that I keep him thinking. I have to make sure that I don't let him get the element of surprise on me. So towards the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly how I did. I mean, you'll see by then, but until then I'm going to leave it a mystery as to what placement I got, and we'll just go from there. And oh, there he is. I had my side to him. He failed to put the shot in. I put one into him. He bounced off of me. He still has 3 in his clip here. So let's see if I can get him to waste 1 or bounce 1 again. If I can get him to miss 3 or bounce 3 in total, then I have pretty much a guaranteed victory here, because then it'll take him a 3rd clip to kill me. There, he's bounced 2 now. Penetrated. And he penetrated a 2nd. Now he's going for the reload, and I know it. This is when it comes in really handy when you have a tank. And yes, I am firing premium. I fire premium in all these because, well, why wouldn't you? I mean, when you have gold at stake here as a prize, then sure, go for it. Use a few credits. And now we just get a few more seconds to finish shooting him up until he finally reloads. But by the time he does, all he has is my front to shoot at, and, well, it's too late for him because he is out of health points. And there we go. We finished the battle, and we still have 3/4 of our health points left. Next up, we have ourselves an enemy T110 E5, so we've got an E5 versus another E5. This could be interesting. This is when I start to think, oh no, if he can outplay me, even though he's not the greatest player, but if he can get a couple of lucky shots in, then I'm in big trouble. And what I'm trying to do this whole time, as I start out, I'm going to see if I can hit him through the buildings here. And what he's trying to do is be able to get his gun up high enough to shoot me as I go down and get that first shot off. But that backfires on him, and I put one into the roof of his turret. There we go. Now I'm 1 shot up on him. I just have to make sure that I put more into him in the end than he does into me, and I'll be alright. Now he's sitting down there waiting for me to come around this corner, but I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not going to just come around this corner and give you my side. I'm going to make you work for this. So what's he going to do next? Well, let's wait and see. I don't know where he went at this point. He could still be sitting in that corner. He could be coming around the corner to my left. He could be making a wide way around. He might come straight through, right in front of me right there. And I just don't know for sure. Alright, where is he? There he is. Somehow I spot him through that. Apparently that's a window with a line of sight through it. I didn't know that, so I was kind of surprised when I spotted him there from that far away. But now, is he running? Or is he going to take up position over there somewhere? No, he is... He appears to be running. Where is he going? I thought about going up on this little ledge there and shooting down at him. I thought he was going to go into the center between the buildings here at first, but turns out he's not. So, should I go around after him, or should I try to cut him off from the front? What is going to be least expected? There he is, and there's a second shot into him. I'm now 2 shots up versus his 1, but I could still get some unlucky bounces, or he could track me just the right way and be able to shoot me somehow where I couldn't shoot him. Is he going to try to cap now? What is he doing? Now, these are heat rounds I'm firing, so remember, they don't really go through cover at all. So objects you can normally shoot through with standard armor piercing, I can't shoot through this time. And that's where those 2 shells go. Bit of a costly mistake. I've only taken 1 hit in return. 2 hits now, but only 1's penetrated. I just have to make sure that I'm a little bit cautious with these next ones. This is at this point that I'm thinking, oh no, I've already used my repair kit. He could get another lucky shot at it, and then we're back to even. He could still win this. And then I fired that one. It bounced off his... Probably hit his upper plate a little bit there, or I was aiming for his lower plate, but it didn't go up through either, so I'm thinking, oh no, he has another chance to finally catch up to me. I don't want that to happen. Let's see what happens here. Gave me his lower plate. I blew through it. I've confirmed my lead a little bit more now. We're halfway there. He's capping, but I can't let that rush me because I have plenty of time. Ooh, there we go. He's starting to catch up again. I bounced off of him, but he did not bounce off of me. He blew a heat round through me somewhere. I just hit his track that time, and I knew that was only going to blow his track off, but I didn't want him to be able to get smart and do something. But I need to make sure I don't let him stress me out about cap, because I have lots of time there to mess with him. Oh boy. He put another one into me. I need to make sure I make this one count. I can't just blow it into his track. He's reloading, so I had lots of time to take my time and put it into him. These battles are pretty short. They're shorter than standard battles and randoms would be, so time is a bit of an issue if you're trying to be sneaky. Alright, what's his next move? He's still in the cap. We know that because the cap timer's still going. And there he is. Is he coming for us? Is he going to try to rush us? Is he going all or nothing? Maybe he wants to face hug us. Let's see what happens here. I pretty much accept that I'm going to get shot in return. I just need to make sure that as long as I take my time and put a shot into him, then I'll be able to win. And just like that, there's our second victory. As I was waiting for the next battle to start, I would always look up the player's profile and see what kind of tanks they had that they could bring. So for example, some of these guys had the choice of a T57 Heavy, or a couple Tier 10 TDs, or a T110 E5, and I would kind of predict, you know what, this guy's going to bring this tank, this next guy is probably going to bring this one, and most of the time I was right. This guy, I predicted he was going to bring the mouse, and I was a little bit worried about that, because he does have a somewhat respectable rate of fire, he does more damage to each shot than I do, he is slower, but he has a lot more health points than I do too. So I have to make sure that I put more shots into him than he does into me this time by a quite a considerable amount. Considering, remember, he has more health points and he does more damage with each shot. Luckily, I'm in an E5. I'm well armored. If I wanted to, I could face hug him and be relatively safe like that. I do have that little bit of a weak spot up on the roof of my turret there, that gun port, but it's not super weak. Now, one of the things about the mouse is that it isn't very fast. So I can almost guarantee that he's over there. I can use my speed to my advantage and see if he's... Let's see if he's hugging around this corner. I don't see him there. Oh, there he is. Alright. Now, I do have premium rounds loaded, and the front of the mouse turret isn't very strong, so I can blow him right through the front of his turret. And he bounced. I did a little bit of evasive drive in there to try to make him bounce. And this guy makes a bit of a mistake here quite a few times. Although in a lot of cases he does angle his turret properly. Not all the time though. When he is about to shoot at me, he points it back at me. And when he's pointing directly at me, I'm going to be able to easily go through the front of his turret. But if he has it angled, then I might not be able to. But this whole time, he really did fail to angle his hull, which meant that it was pretty easy for me to blow through the front of it. And that shot right there is the only one, I think, that actually bounces. I hit the front of his turret. Yep. Don't want to miss any, though. Got him at 1/3 of his health now. I'm still a little bit over half of my health. I keep blowing through the front of his tank. He was angling his turret there, but he didn't angle his hull. I don't know if he thought that he was angling it properly because of the way this mound is, but he wasn't. And there he's bouncing more off of me now. He's only penetrated 2 so far. And now he's just a one-shot kill. And there we go. Just like that, took him out. Doesn't matter that he has almost 1,000. He has 800 more health points than me. Still kicked his butt. Next up, we have another T110E5. Now, to be honest, the tank that I was most afraid of that somebody was going to bring was an FV215B, the Tier 10 British heavy tank. Why? Because he actually has a better rate of fire than I do in the E5, so I would have to make sure that I made sure, wow, that he didn't put more shots into me than I did into him. I'd have to make sure that for every one I received, I could still put one into him in return, which could make things a little bit difficult because he does have somewhat good armor too. Can I put one into the E5 here? No. He either clued in there at the last second or he was just steering around those buildings. But here he comes. He is going to use a bit of a different tactic than the last guy did. The last guy decided he was going to run away. This guy has decided that he's going to be a little bit more aggressive than that. And by the way, this was the most important game. At this point, me and this guy were tied for first place. So, when it comes down to it, whoever wins this battle gets first place. Even if I lose my next battle, which is my final battle I had in this tournament, I will still be able to maintain first place if I beat this guy. However, if I lose, well, it's probably going to be him that gets first place. So I'm trying to put some shots into the hatch there, onto the gun port, but it is pretty tough, and that first one bounced, and I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be very interesting. Luckily, premium rounds do have enough oomph to finally get through those. And he's trying to do the same to me. And he does it with some success. And he keeps pushing me. I'm pushing back for a lot of this as hard as I can, but he's still pushing me a little bit more. There we go. I have to make sure I don't get unlucky and bounce a lot, but it's not looking too good for him. I'm trying to block his gun now with my barrel, and I think that worked. And we finished him off. And there's our first place in the tournament confirmed. There is 500 gold for us. Nice. However, even though I have now confirmed that I'm going to be getting first place in this tournament, I still want to make sure that I win this next battle, and in a way, I was most afraid of this guy because I saw in the tank lists, in the tanks that he had, that he was going to be bringing this Matchat 25T because it's the only tier 10 that he has. So, what's the advantage of bringing a medium, not that he had much choice, as opposed to a heavy? Well, he's got better maneuverability, and the Matchat 25T is rather unique because it does have that 5-round autoloader. Now, he has enough speed over the E5 that if he were to be smart about it, it's tough on a city map like this, but he could run by me, circle me a little bit, put his 5 shells into me, run away, and reload. And if he did that twice, he could kill me. And I can't allow that to happen. Now, judging by where he was last spotted here, I thought for sure he went off into the field. And I thought about being generous to this guy and letting him beat me or offering him a draw or something like that. But, you know, I wasn't feeling too nice. I was feeling pretty full of myself at this moment. So I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to go undefeated in this tournament. Last time I did a 1v1 tournament, I didn't do nearly as good. I still finished with some gold, but it wasn't very much. I think it was 200 gold versus the 500 I'm going to win from this one. But, you know, we'll just kill him anyway. Sorry, guy. So the last place he could possibly be hiding behind is that building, which turns out is over top of the past the map border. So he's not over there. Turns out he's not back here after all. Now he's probably driving around in there trying to figure out where I am. Meanwhile, I'm down here in the field in a heavy tank. Oh boy. So turns out he used his maneuverability in the Matchat 25T and his speed, and he turned around. He knew he was unspotted and decided, you know what? I'm going the opposite direction to make this guy think that I went this way. And it worked. Clearly it worked. But let's see if I can actually beat this guy, or if he can come back and dupe me somehow. I am worried that he's going to come out of nowhere and hit me in the side or be unspotted in the field somehow, and the other side of the field that I didn't just go through. Maybe he's back here still. So if he tracks me and I'm unspotted and he can just unload his whole clip into me, then that is going to be devastating. And this guy did win about half of his battles too, at this point. Where is he? I can't let him catch me by surprise. Just on the hunt. There he is. Can I put one into him? There we go. Auto aim, thank you. Alright, now he's coming this way. I know it. He's going to come unload his clip. I need to try to make sure I don't miss any of these. I need to put all of them into him I possibly can. Make them all count. There you go. He's penetrated all 3. Oh, damaged ammo rack. I gotta repair that. If I get my ammo rack detonated, then that is just devastating. I am very dead at that point. And he's trying to run away. But unfortunately from him, the E5 is a reasonably speedy vehicle. I set him on fire, left him on 1% of his health. What a lucky guy. I thought about going around behind him there, following him, but I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be able to hit him again around that corner. In all likelihood. Can I hit him through here before he gets behind there? Oh, auto aim. Wow. You know what, auto aim isn't very reliable when it comes to shooting enemies on the move, especially if they're at any kind of distance, which luckily he wasn't at very far of a distance, but I still got very lucky with that shot because he was just barely still where I had a line of sight on him. And if I would have missed that, then there is the chance that he could have come around with a full loaded clip, and had I missed my first shot, unloaded the rest of his clip into me before I could shoot him a second time. And he could have potentially won that. So in my mind, even though it technically wasn't by how many health points I had left, I felt that that was the closest battle I was to losing because just that clip potential that the Bat Chat has. So as I make you stare at these very boring looking tournament results that don't explode anything like the tanks I was just shooting at, why was the E5 such a good tank? Well, it has the armor, it has the maneuverability, and it has the rate of fire. So what tank would I have brought myself if I could take any tier 10 other than the E5 itself to beat the E5? Well, I probably would have picked the FV215B, the tier 10 British heavy tank. Why? Because it has a better rate of fire, and for all intents and purposes, its armor, for the uses I would use it for, its armor is pretty much just as good. But regardless of armor values, as long as you can make sure that most, if not all of your shots counted, then the rate of fire would be all you'd really need. You just need to make sure you fire more shells more effectively than the enemy does in that tank, and you win. But anyways, guys, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you want to participate in a tournament yourself, I highly suggest you do so. You can win yourself lots of gold. Some tournaments have special prizes. Tournaments are anything from 1v1s all the way up to 3v3s, 4v4s, some of them even 15 versus 15s if you want to get your whole clan in on it. And there could be some pretty crazy prizes. Sometimes you can have just gold, other times you can have Type 59s. Every once in a while a company will come around and sponsor a tournament, which is pretty rare, and they'll give away t-shirts or gaming equipment or something like that, which is pretty cool. But those ones are when all the big clans come out of the woodwork with their super epic seal clubbing teams. But anyways, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. I'll leave all the relevant links down in the description, but otherwise go on worldoftanks.com or wherever your region is and look for that tournament button towards the top of the page where it lists all these tournaments. See you later.